Ready to take your favorite WagerTalk handicappers wherever you travel this football season? The WagerTalk TV app is now live for phones, tablets, smart TVs, and streaming platforms. Tune into your favorite shows like WagerTalk Today, Bet on It, and the Opening Line Report, plus browse through our extensive library of sports betting tips. Create your personal playlist of betting tip videos to help you prepare for the upcoming season, and set notifications to alert you when new content is added. Download the app for Apple, Android, Amazon, and Roku devices by searching for WagerTalk TV, or scan the QR code on your screen to join the winning conversation today.
Hey guys, welcome in on a very happy Friday to you now, the 30th of December. That's right, getting ready to say goodbye to 2022. Welcome in 2023, and not before we cash a few more tickets in the association here, hopefully tonight. Nice card of games, and we've got a few we're going to break down for you, see if we can come up with some best bets. Can't think of a better way to end 2022 than with these three guys as we welcome back in the prop god Andy Lang hanging out with us, as is Tony Finn, one of the original OGs, along with, of course, the OG there, Rob Vino, hanging out with us. Ski Prophet just entirely too busy to hang out with us here today, but it's a pleasure to see you guys as always. Plenty of NBA action here to finish up the year, and Andy, I know you got a little something ready to roll here tonight. Tell us what you got going on at WagerTalk.com.
I already have a couple plays up in the NBA. One of them I'm going to do for my best bet. Ooh. I think we're going to add a couple more, and then 5% NFL play is up 17-6 on those. We did not have a 5% play last weekend, but we're back in action with the 5% play. These have been just pure money makers all throughout the season. Number one in 5% plays in the NFL this season. So we're ready to cash another one. Those have been really the highlight of the last few months. Keep cashing those. So go grab that. Everything's up at WagerTalk.com. Looking forward to a good night of basketball.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Love it, man. Keeping cash in here. Tony Finn, what's going on, man? Racking in the profits here over the last 30 days in the association. Do you happen to have something ready to go tonight, or are you still looking at the card?
Well, I was waiting, as I mentioned on one of the earlier programs we did, Joe, that I was waiting on some intel, and I will, as soon as the show's over, I have a 5%er in the NBA night. Now that I got the information I wanted, I have a 5%er going. It's a late game, so plenty of time to get that, and you can only get it at WagerTalk, Tony Finn's homepage.
Love it. 5% in the association tonight. That's how you roll into the weekend. Rob Vino, my man, welcome back. Last we heard, you were all sorts of airport issues, waiting for people to show up. Nobody shows up. Vino can't make it. But it's glad to see you're back at the studio, man. Talk to us. What do you got going tonight here at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, well, college football obviously is in play, Joe. A couple of bowl games, one currently going right now, but one also later this evening, so you can pick it up at WagerTalk.com. But even better than that, a 5% bowl game up and available for the weekend right now. So you can pick that up. We nailed a 5%er earlier this week on that East Carolina, Coastal Carolina over the total. Another one to follow it up. NBA will go up after the show. A lot of stuff to figure through here today, earlier in the day. But now I think we're pretty set on what we're going to have. So it'll be 3 plays, and they'll be up and available once again at WagerTalk.com.
Yeah, we try to figure out the who's in, the who's out. I think we have a pretty good idea now. So we'll start as the contrarian gods nailed another one last night. They told you to keep an eye on those San Antonio Spurs, and obviously with good reason, as they handle business against the New York Knicks. And tonight, they're going to look at an even worse team as the Orlando Magic here tonight, taking on the Washington Wizards. This line opened up around 7, and now we're seeing 5.5. But I still don't think, right? Half the team is suspended. I mean, Harris, I believe, is out. Mo Bamba was out. I'm pretty sure Wendell Carter might have been in that disaster there. So all sorts of issues here with the Orlando Magic. Mostly, they're going to have some depth issues. Boncaro still good to go, I believe. Markelle Fultz still good to go. Bol will be there. But is it enough? The contrarian gods think so, Andy Lang. Are you in agreement with them? And is there anybody in particular you would key on here for a prop bet tonight?
Well, if ever there was a contrarian gods play, this is it. Like bunch of players missing. They don't have a chance.
Yep.
Yet the line is suspiciously low at only plus 5.5. So yeah, absolutely, you're playing Orlando or nothing in this game. It just reeks of a contrarian gods laughing its way to the bank. So a couple of player props in this one. Joe, you spoke about the lack of depth. You have to look at Kyle Kuzma and Kristaps Porzingis. They're both at 22.5. You can make cases for both of these guys, and I would not be surprised if both of them went over their total. Kuzma's averaging 23 points a game this month. The team is scoring a lot of points. So they put up 125, 116, and 111. The last 3 games, they should be able to do whatever they want tonight against a depleted Orlando team. Porzingis, it looks like he might be guarded by Caleb Houston, who's averaging less than 10 minutes a game the last 4 games. He's 19 years old. So there's just good matchups against Kuzma and Porzingis. So you could sprinkle a little on both, pick one of them and ride with it. I will say this is a really good spot for Banchero to step up and kind of plant his flag in the ground and just say, hey, I'm here. I'm one of the better guys in the NBA. He's gotten into foul trouble the last couple games. He's gone under his points total. It's at 22.5. The team is going to need some huge performance from somebody. This is a great chance for him to put the team on his shoulders, go for 30 points, at least try and keep the game close and kind of just, say, hey, I'm one of the best players in the league, and I can carry a team when I really, really need to. So I'll be interested to see how he does tonight. If he goes under his total, it'll be a little bit of a letdown just because I really like his skill set, and he's showed real upside. So I'm pulling for him to go over his total. But as far as betting-wise, it's Kuzma and Porzingis for me in this one.
All right, I like that. You good point. It's time for him to grow up here rather quickly. Boncaro is going to have to carry these guys here tonight. Tony Finn, what do you think here, my man? I mean, it's not that easy, I guess, with Washington. Other teams, this might have been a no-brainer, but do you trust Washington to go against the contrarian gods here?
I do. Tonight I do. Mostly because I got a little tweet there, a message, DM on Twitter that Corey K was talking to Unsell, and he came away with a frown during the walkthrough, which means what? It means that he's not going to start.
Uh-oh.
You're gonna, we're gonna actually see Bradley Beal tonight. So I don't know what's going on, guys. You can tell me. I don't know what it is about Florida. But when the coaches put up the injury list, they put every single player on the damn list.
So true.
Whether it's Miami or every player. So contrarian-wise, listen, Orlando's played well. They have nice run. I like this team. Athletic, has some good pieces. And when they're playing well, and they're putting their 7-footers, driven the ball down the court in transition, they're quite the sight. Am I wrong to see Bol taking the ball end to end and then not just dunking, but pulling up and looking pretty, attractive, acceptable? There's a big discrepancy, guys. When they shoot well from the outside, and I know it's going to sound common sense, but there's a big discrepancy right now in the numbers, and that is, when they win, they shoot well and they hold their opponent to less than, or their opponent doesn't shoot well. All that regression comes full circle at some point in time. What Orlando's done is impressive. I like what I see. It's good to see the less thans compete with the Goliaths. But I think Orlando's day will come too this year, where they'll go on a bad run. And I hope the 4 of us, are not with the contrarian gods, because they'll be the contrarian play most of the time.
Yeah, well, they have been, certainly. When they're fully healthy, I mean, the sky's the limit here, Rob Dino, with this Orlando team. But we saw that stretch, I believe, in December, the whole month, where when they had their guys, they're pretty good, but they're missing half of them tonight. Is it enough to make you want to go with the Washington Wizards, though, to cover by margin?
Well, it's not that much of a margin, right? I mean, we're asking them to win by 6 points against a team that may not have 8 players. I think that's the NBA minimum, right? I think you have to have 8 to have a game. So 8 guys for the Magic. The 4, Joe, you rattled them off. The 4 starters that they have, no problem there. I mean, Caleb Houston being the odd man in, but the other 4 certainly decent players. And the good thing about Orlando is that, the 10, 11 guys that they have, when they're all in a game, they're interchangeable parts. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see Orlando play strong first quarter, maybe the last 6 minutes into half when the starters come back. But eventually it's got to be a situation where they wear down a little bit. I would expect Washington, which is a slower paced basketball team, to maybe pick it up a little bit here tonight, knowing that they've got a team that's depth shy as an opponent. Orlando, you guys hit on this. They were 10-0 against the spread until their last 2 games, where they went 0-2. In a couple of games, that Laker game, I remember earlier in the week, Ralph does the NBA stat sheet, and Ralph had like this double super system that favored Orlando, and the Lakers wound up beating them by 19, which wasn't a good sign. They came back and got whacked by the Detroit Pistons. So, like Tony said, it could be a bit of a downturn here for the Magic. I'd also, aside from the contrarian play, Joe, where I'll look to play against the gods, I'll look to play Washington, but I want to talk about the total for just a half a second here. It's interesting that the total has gone up 4 points, right? Total goes up with one team missing like 7 guys and the other team missing Bradley Beal. So you could probably expect a little playground pace here. Lots of baskets. The Wizards, for what it's worth, have been 4-1, or excuse me, Orlando has been 4-1 to the over in their last 5. I think the reason why we get this game at a reasonable price, only 5 or 5.5, is because Bradley Beal's out and the line is compensated so heavily for Beal not being there. I'll probably side with Washington, and I don't know, in some capacity, maybe you want to take a look at the total here.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think there's an opportunity there for sure there, as Orlando is going to be the contrarian play of the day, taking on Washington minus half 13. We'll move on to a featured matchup here tonight, which should be a good one. At least we think on paper, as the Sixers taking on the New Orleans Pelicans here tonight. Pretty much a pick-em price, -1 maybe in some spots, but that total has creeped up 229.5 from 227 this morning. Washington, those Wizards, boy, oh boy, they snapped a nice little winning streak the Sixers had rolling there. And, well, here they go. Now they got to go on the road, pick 'em price. I don't know. Is Herbert Jones still on the list here tonight? He was questionable. Not sure if he's going to be back or not. But what do you think here, Andy? Some interesting prop bets in this matchup with these two teams.
Well, I'm going to pull out my own, whatever I've got, the double super system.
Yes.
So I was looking over my double super system, and it leads me to look at CJ McCollum over his assists. Right now it's on DraftKings. You can grab over 5.5. It's -140, but this is a big number, or a key number, I should say. He goes over this total when Ingram is out of the lineup. He's gone over in 6 straight games. The last 2 games he's had 6 exactly. So your decision if -140 is worth it. I think it's worth a sprinkle. And then I did a show with Jay Money earlier, and we talked about Zion, who I feel like I've had a very good read on, and seeing when he goes up against good defenses, he goes under his total. When he goes up against bad defenses, he goes over his total. So I made the case that over the last 10 games, Philadelphia is the 3rd best team defensive efficiency. So you might look at Zion under his total. Since that show, I went and looked. Philadelphia is really good defensively against every position except the power forward.
Of course.
So this is the key piece that I missed in this. So at least I bet, better late than never. So Porzingis and Kuzma had big games. Julius Randle had a massive game against them, and then Kawhi Leonard went for 28 against them. So it's interesting. They've been playing really good team defense, but the power forwards have had a lot of success, which kind of puts me in a little bit of an odd spot with Zion. Do I believe in the team defense of Philadelphia, or do I believe in the one-on-one ability of Zion? In the end, I'm a little bit of a cautious bettor, so I would stay away from this. Don't be surprised if Zion goes off for a big game, or don't be surprised if he struggles a little bit. This game is a little bit tough. Yeah, listen, I'm not taking a Joel Embiid under anytime soon. He's been playing really, really good ball. But if you can grab that C.J. McCollum over assist play, that's the best one in this game by far.
All right. McCollum, vote for him is good to go. Now, Vino, this was Philadelphia getting points, and we've seen, obviously, with the news that it looks like Maxey back tonight here. Tyrese Maxey back in the lineup. Good to go. So not shocking, I guess. That's really it for the injury report for the Sixers. This is the first time in a long time. What do you think here, though? Do you agree with the market move, or is the total the way to look?
Well, the total, New Orleans is 8-2 to the over in their last 10 games, and Philly's 3-0 their last 3. So a lot of indicators toward the over. And if you add to that, I guess while Andy was doing his show with Jay Money, I was doing a little hour segment with Ski Profit. We talked this one out. And, Philadelphia head coach Doc Rivers, it's crazy. You see this in almost every post game that he does, where he harps on the fact that they pound the basketball. Of course, that always leads back to number 13, who likes to pound the basketball. But he stated prior to this one that he wants, with Maxey back, they want to go a little bit more whenever they have the opportunity. We'll see if that happens, because my first inclination, guys, was to think, when I think of New Orleans and I think of any defensive ability, I think of Jose Alvarado and the trouble he causes for old, slow point guards. Chris Paul, number 1. James Harden would be number 2. He could be torturous for James Harden, who wants to just sit out there and pound the basketball. But with Tyrese Maxey back, I don't know that factors in as much in this case. I do like Zion to have a big night. Andy did get to the eventual point of Philadelphia not being good against power forwards. And we've talked about it on the show for a couple of years, Joe. They can't defend Durant. They can't defend Giannis. They can't defend Tatum. And that's why they can never win the East. It would have to take a Herculean effort out of Joel Embiid for them to ever win the East, because they just can't defend it. Tobias Harris is what he is.
Yep.
He's a effort guy, but size-wise, he just doesn't match up at the power forward position. And, what are they going to bring in? Burke and Korkmaz, they just don't have answers. Paul Reed, they don't have answers. So I would expect Zion to play well. I think that New Orleans will get up and down here. To me, this game moved from, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it moved from New Orleans 3.5 to Philly 1, or New Orleans from 3 to Philly 1.5. It was a 4.5 point swing, whatever, solely based on Tyrese Maxey news.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of an overreaction here. New Orleans at home on a Friday night in a game where they certainly want to make some sort of statement type thing to Philadelphia that, they're the team on the rise. Not that Philadelphia doesn't want to come in and play, but do we expect Tyrese Maxey to be top form Tyrese Maxey after sitting out for, I think it's like double-digit games now? I think I'd lean New Orleans here. The total's just about getting out of my reach at 229, but like I said, over the course of the last 10 games, you'll find a lot of New Orleans games getting up and over this 229 number, and 2 of Philly's last 3 have done the same.
What are you thinking here, Tony Finn? Maxey is back here, full complement for the Sixers. They've been pretty good. You trust them here on the road at a pick'em price?
No Nance. No Ingram. No Liddell. No, I'll tell you right now, if Jones plays, he's not conditioned to go hard against a physical Philadelphia team, or at least what I believe to be a physical, save a couple guys. But that's the Maxey. Really, the conundrum here for Philly is Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers has never been able to make a decision on who should be playing, who should be in the starting line. He's never. And if you need evidence of such, remember Ben Simmons? So the big dilemma for Doc right now is my esteemed colleague Rob should know this, living in that area, that that there's big controversy right now, or at least conflicts on does Maxey return to the starting lineup, because truth is Melton's been pretty darn good. They've been running pretty good without Maxey. So should Maxey be that dynamic sixth man off the bench, right? Et cetera, et cetera. So Doc's got his work. That's so much on Doc's plate. Can you see him right now? His head's just spinning. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know where to go. And that's who Doc Rivers is. New Orleans, absent those players, guys. Absent those players, I do like the over in this. I believe that if Maxey gets 20 minutes, it'll be up tempo. But this Philadelphia team may not be a championship team, but right now they're playing well enough that I have a hard time playing New Orleans with those guys out and Philly being healthy.
All right. There you go, guys. Should be a good one here with the Sixers and the Pelicans. 8:30 tip on that one. And then, of course, we do have an overtime game, which will focus on the total. And, whoo, this is a fun one, huh? How about 237.5 now up to 242.5, that being the Lakers and the Atlanta Hawks. Now, there were some questions as far as LeBron's availability for this game earlier today, but I'm not seeing him on the report. So I do see Schroeder and Reeves are good to go. Lonnie Walker, I think, is a question. But for the most part, Trae Young looks like he's good to go. DeAndre Hunter is still questionable. No Clint Capella. But when you put it all together, are we seeing any defense here, Andy Lang? And quite honestly, are we even looking at any of the unders in props here?
No. No. There will be no unders for me in this game. So one thing that I've been working on kind of behind the scenes, believe it or not, is same game parlays. I know Tony Finn has done some of those, and I've been interested to see if this is a profit. This is profitable, and so I'm glad I just did it behind the scenes, because I really struggled with it at first, but I've started to kind of figure some things out. I gave out my first official one last night in the Thursday night football game and had success. So I can't recommend playing my same game parlays yet, but this is what I came up with in this game. I'm looking at Trae Young to have 2 or more 3-pointers. He's had 2 or more in 5 straight games. It looks like he's shooting the ball much better from 3-pointers. I'm going to take the Lakers team total over 106.5. They've gone over this total in 4 out of 5 games. The under was against a Miami team that's good against defense. The Hawks have given up this total in 4 out of 5. And then I'll take LeBron over 3.5 assists. He's had over 3.5 assists in 14 straight games. So without AD, the ball's always in his hands. So Trae Young, 2+ 3-pointers, Lakers over 106.5, and LeBron over 3.5 assists. Same game parlay.
Same game parlay. All right. Love it. What do you think here, Vino? I mean, we've all been waiting for LeBron, whether he goes or he doesn't go. But now that he's going, we know we're going to get some points from both of these teams. Trae Young ready to roll. Trae didn't play in that last game against Brooklyn that they barely lost Atlanta, but got to feel points are coming here, Vino, or is it too many points right now the market is giving it?
I think it's getting to that stage, Joe, where I'm not, the obvious thing, they're both going to score, right? And I'll take the Christmas Day game, for example, just to show that you're never out of it with the Lakers over. In that first half with Dallas on Christmas Day had me with my head about to explode because I had a big play on over, and the first half was dormant. But then, the Lakers being the Lakers give Dallas 51 third quarter points, and that game sails over the total. But if you just go over game scores and try and find games with these two teams that get over 242.5, they're hard to find. I mean, the Lakers are 10-3 in their last 13 games over the total. But when you start going for over 242.5, you find that only 2 of their last 10 have gotten to 243 or better. You find only 4 of Atlanta's last 4 of Atlanta's last 20 have gotten better than 242.5. So while they play a ton of games in that 235 to 240 range, these two teams do, oddsmaker may be pushing us up and out of the stratosphere at this point in time. I mean, again, you're never out of it with the Lakers, and we know the Hawks have their own internal bickering going on for quite some time now, and they don't like to play defense. But I find it pretty hard to go over 242.5. So I'll say slight lean to the under.
All right, slight lean to the under. How about you, Tony Finn? I mean, LeBron's in, Trey's in, but 242.5. You've said it a number of times on this show. A lot has to go right in order to be able to get up and over that total. Are you believing it will go well here tonight?
What's scarier? A lot has to go right, or just one thing has to go wrong?
Right?
Exactly.
Holy crap. That's a big number, man. A big number. Although I will say this, I have that's the kind of number that I really have a hard time playing over, and it's a number I might have a harder time playing under, just because we all have talked about what's going to happen here tonight. If Hunter and Capella are not part of Atlanta's rotation, first or second rotation, then they can't defend. They can't defend, and when Young and Murray are on the floor together offensively, this team's pretty good. It's hard. They're a lot more difficult to defend, and then just one of those guys on the floor. So the Lakers don't play defense anymore. They won their championship based on hanging their hat on defense, right? And two guys scoring. Well, one of those guys who's the only guy for the Lakers who can possibly defend the rim, is out. Davis is out, and LeBron, when he tries to play the center position, let's think about it. You look back the last couple of years when he was, we're not worried. I'm going to play center tonight. Well, teams love to see when James playing center. So again, now he's shooting now he's a 3-point shooter. That's what he is. I never thought he was a very good 3-point shooter, but tonight he can probably shoot some threes, wide open looks against Atlanta. I'd probably be my mind, my brain, and my logic, which is really skewed, says lean over. I'm nowhere near this game.
No, we weren't going to get an argument from us there. All right, so good stuff there, guys. But there are quite a few opportunities for some dogs here tonight. Let's see who's barking.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, let's check out the barking dogs here. We've got Orlando, as we talked about, the Lakers there. How about Phoenix in a dog spot, as is the Detroit Pistons, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Miami Heat are on the road in Denver as a dog. Utah also as a dog, as is the Golden State Warriors. So, Rob Vino, I'm going to come to you here, my man. Interesting dogs. Some of these teams you don't often find on this dog list, but hey, what do you think? Is there one that you think will bark here a little bit tonight?
We just talked about the over in this game, Joe, but in what should be a score fest, I find it hard to lay 6 with the Atlanta Hawks. Last year, the year before, we used to say Hawks at home, pretty good play. Hawks on the road, don't want any part of them. However, Hawks is a home favorite this year, just a 39% cover. Lakers no good as a road dog either. But against this level of competition, where seemingly, and Tony talked about LeBron James playing a lot of center. If Capella doesn't play, there's really nobody to take advantage. So it just becomes a score fest. And I feel like trusting the Hawks to win by any type of margin nowadays is just unrealistic. So I would probably side with the Lakers here, plus the 6.5 or whatever it is, even if they don't win, to at least cover, for this to be a tightly contested, high-scoring game.
All right, so the Lakers there is where we're looking. How about you, Tony Finn? We got quite a few interesting ones here tonight. Is there one that you might be gravitating towards?
I was hoping that public would, on a Friday night, it would be all over Golden State. I thought maybe they might, they opened up as a 2-point dog. I thought maybe they might move into the favorite role, and if they had, I would be pitching Portland. I like Portland. I just don't like them as a road favorite. They're not that they're a big favorite in 1.5. But let's go to a dog, right? If there's a dog tonight I like, it's actually my best bet. So you can make a choice. We can go over my best bet now, or we can just save it for that segment of the show. But I like the Heat plus the points tonight. I haven't been much on backing Miami, an overvalued Miami team so far this year because of the injuries, guys. They haven't been very good against the number, period. I think they might be the worst team in the league right now, against the number wise as far as percentage goes. But I like them plus 4 or 5. They were 5. Now I looked at it. Now they're down to 4. I still like them down against the defensive challenge Denver operation.
All right, looking at the Heat there, grabbing 4 for Tony Finn and Andy. Well, you know your boys in Indiana last night opened up a can of whoop ass. Great call there last night for a dog with the Pacers handling business. Is there one tonight on the card you like a little?
Shout out to our producer, Rob, who is probably so annoyed with me right now. I think I've logged in and out 7 times in the last 41 seconds because my internet flickered. Sorry, Robert. You know what? I don't know. It kind of doesn't make any sense, and that's when I've had the most luck with this segment on That's My Dog. I'm going to go with the Timberwolves plus the points. The Bucks, they're so much better at home, and they're finally done with that road trip. I just think it's a real problem without Drew Holiday. I think that D'Angelo Russell has a big night, as I'm not a buyer in the perimeter. It's just, can you limit the amount of destruction that Giannis is going to do on this team tonight? Mm-hmm. I mean, his point total for props is 35.5. That has got to be the highest total I've seen, and I'm not going under on it. That being said, the Timberwolves have lost like 4 in a row. I just think this is a weird enough situation that this is what the NBA season has kind of been all about, which is weird teams cover and win outright. It would not surprise me if the Bucks blow this game and shock everybody. Give me the Timberwolves and the points with a little sprinkle on the money line.
All right, there you go. Love it. T-Wolves for Andy Lang. And that leaves us with some best bets here, guys. Almost. All right, let's check it out here, guys. We've got a handful of games here tonight. Some interesting dogs, some maybe overvalued favorites. When you put it all together, we're going to give these guys 60 seconds to tell us what their favorite bet is on the card. So, Andy, we'll come back to you. Start us off here. Which one of these plays might be your best bet tonight?
Well, remind everybody we got a 5% play in the NFL, been the best moneymaker we've had over the last few months for sure. We're up over 40 units, 17-6 in these plays. That's at WagerTalk. We've got our NBA pack that is up right now. I think we'll end up with 4 or 5 plays, and this is one of them. I'm going to go with the the Trailblazers under their team total. Search around. You want this number as high as you can. I believe FanDuel has it at 117.5. I mean, here's the stat. Last 70 games, including the postseason, opponents of the Golden State Warriors are 66-4 to the under on team totals of 118.5 or greater. They've been just spectacular at home. This is even when they sit players, when the lineup switches in. It doesn't matter who's playing defense for Golden State at home. They hold the opponent under. The Trailblazers only score 108 points on the road. They're much better at home than they are on the road. And Golden State has been really good the last 3 games, holding all 3 opponents under 110. Give me the Trailblazers under their team total tonight.
All right. And shout out, Andy did drop that trend on the show earlier this week when Golden State was taking on Sacramento. And or Utah, rather. And sure enough.
Charlotte and Utah.
Charlotte, Utah, yes. And voila. It ended up cashing. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Andy, great stuff there. Talk to us, Rob Vino. Let's see here. 60 seconds on the clock. I know you're cooking something up over there tonight. What's the best bet?
Yeah, I'm going to go against, the hometown here, Philadelphia. I really think that New Orleans, I think this is an overreaction to the Tyrese Maxey news. And again, we see this over and over again with a star player. When a starter comes back after a long layoff, tries to get involved in the lineup, the cohesion isn't there. It doesn't really run all that smooth. Where New Orleans has, been through these injuries for quite a while now. I think when push comes to shove here, Valanciunas is sturdy enough to not allow Embiid to go for, the 44, the 48 he's been going for on a regular basis as of late. You calm him down just a little bit. And maybe Philadelphia does. Maybe Doc Rivers does get his team to play a little bit at pace here. And I think if they play at pace, it just favors New Orleans. Like the guys that they have on the floor, I think the Zion matchup is a real mismatch and problem for Philly. So at home +1, I think I like the Pelicans here to take care of the 76ers.
Oh, all right. Going with the home team to get it done. Maxey, please. Going to be good for 3 points here tonight. We got played in 3 years. Ridiculous. Tony Finn, talk to us here, my man. 60 seconds on the clock. What's the best bet for you? You said Miami. Talk to us.
Yeah, look, let's stay with Miami, and we'll talk about Miami, who they are, who they have been, who Coach Spoelstra is pretending to be, and have the games he's played with the league opponents and the league itself, with Joe Public. If you really want to know, he's held the ship, the helm straight as he can during a lot of injuries, and they have moved forward. They're just now kind of getting back over the 500 mark, playing pretty well, 6-2 straight up. Last 8, only 4-4 against the number, mostly because they continue to be overvalued. I'm going to avoid Miami as a favorite, but moving forward for the next couple of weeks, when they're in a dog roll against a team like Denver, who's had a couple, they've had some up and down games, Portland, et cetera, a back-to-back there in Portland, and now at home against a Miami team that can defend, and pretty much everybody, don't pay attention to the injury report, save Cleve Martin. I think Butler, Adebayo, Lowry, everybody's on the floor. And when they're on the floor, their net rating's 8, guys. Give me Miami plus the points tonight.
All right. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. They're dead to me. So let's take a look here, though. But I wish you luck there. Let's see what we got. We got Andy Lang going the dog barking tonight. Minnesota. Guy, he loves it with the accent and everything. He's rolling there. +7. But the best bet, again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're going to look for team totals under tonight with Portland. Shop around, look for that number, 117.5. While Tony Finn, he going Miami, not only as a dog, but his best bet against the, what do you say, defensively challenged Denver Nuggets in Denver here tonight. While Vino, the Lakers, if we're going to score 290 points, the Lakers are going to have to score a few of them. So he'll take the 6 there against Atlanta, but his best bet, New Orleans, going against the hometown Sixers there. He's not buying it, likes the Pelicans at home getting a point, and the contrarian gods laughing at all of us this week, but they are looking at Orlando getting 5.5 here tonight with half a team going up against the Washington Wizards. But guys, so much time left here to make to cash a few tickets, certainly in the association all weekend long. And these 3 guys, they are the ones you want to partner up with right now. Head over to WagerTalk.com. We've got all sorts of best bets. Tony Finn got a 5% best bet rolling here tonight. Rob totally invested here in the bowl season here. Some games coming up, as well as Andy with the prop bets. Locked, loaded. He is ready to roll, and there's no reason for you not to cash and pad that bankroll a little bit before 2023 shows up. Best way to do that, guys, those 3-day, 7-day, and 30-day all-access packages. Yep, that means you partner up with any one of these gentlemen, and you get every one of their plays, including all of those 5% best bets here. Just visit them now. Rob Vino. You've got Tony Finn and, of course, Andy Lang. Visit their pages at WagerTalk.com. And this is it, guys. This will be the final show of 2022 for the NBA Tip-Off Show. Have no fear. We'll be back next year. And we're looking forward to it. There's so much NBA left to go. We've said it all week long, right? The unofficial start to the season is usually Christmas, which means plenty of NBA action. Plenty of tickets to cash coming up in 2023, but we want to thank you so much for hanging with us here so far this season. We want to wish you and yours a very happy and safe new year, but make plans to come back and join us on Monday. It's a new year. It is the same old show and plenty of tickets to go along to cash. So, guys, on behalf of Andy, Rob, and Tony, appreciate the time. Best of luck with all your plays today and this weekend. We'll talk to you again next year, guys. Good luck.
Ready to take your favorite WagerTalk handicappers wherever you travel this football season? The WagerTalk TV app is now live for phones, tablets, smart TVs, and streaming platforms. Tune into your favorite shows like WagerTalk Today, Bet on It, and the Opening Line Report. Plus, browse through our extensive library of sports betting tips. Create your personal playlist of betting tip videos to help you prepare for the upcoming season, and set notifications to alert you when new content is added. Download the app for Apple, Android, Amazon, and Roku devices by searching for WagerTalk TV, or scan the QR code on your screen to join the winning conversation today.